what can you get for $15.20? This knife, and also this knife is actually quite a bit better than some of the higher priced ones as well. The knife has a deep carry pocket clip, although not the most stylish clip. It does offer a fairly good carry for that, although the screws do get in the way as you put it in and out of your pocket. So that's actually one thing that's not the best about it. But Camillus has been around since 1876, but they did file for bankruptcy in 2007, so the brand and also the intellectual property was purchased by Acme United Corporation, and then they relaunched in May of 2009. So even though the brand name has been around since 1876, really this brand has been around since about 2009. So this is the Impulse 2, and as I said on the intro, you can actually get this for $15.20. Go to walmart.com, check that out. Don't know how long that's going to continue for, but it is a great deal for the knife. So it's an AUS-8 blade, so AUS-8 steel. It is ball bearing. It is manual. So a lot of great things for that. So for the steel itself is still a little bit low on the scale for how it is as far as the edge retention, as far as the hardness, so kind of on the lower end of things as well. But initial impression on the knife, I really cannot put it down. I mean, I have a few other options available for me to carry, but this one is one that actually ends up in my pocket, and it is only a tip down carry, but I can get over it for this knife. For some reason, it just calls to me. So for me, that's what I use. And I've been using for a little bit now. But the comparison on that one, and we're going to look at some other ones here as far as the abilities. And we're also going to be bringing in as far as the initial sharpness test. So I had an initial testing with the pull gauge. I went to a 2.0 style for the sharpness tester. Now I'm at 2.5, so we'll roll right into that. The official reveal of my sharpness tester I've been playing around with through trial and error. Started with one of these for a fidget spinner, and then actually was stringing a fishing line through it to try and give it some tension. I upgraded to an aluminum spinner, so there's a purpose for these spinners at some point, but this one is the spinner. This is actually the best media, which is pre-strung. So it already has the media in there, and it actually is a preset tension, so it should be pretty accurate across the board. And then the measurement that I'm going to be using is going to be on this. So this is the best media. So the actual value of the pressure or force required to sever the best media, and then it goes all the way down from basically unsharpened blank all the way down to a double-edged razor blade. So we're going to start off with this this knife here to see where it ends up. So we have the pre-strung media. We're going to put that in here. Oh, sorry about that. Roll that over. Then we use the same Lyman pull gauge. We're going to be doing this in grams to get the most accurate reading possible. So 273. So 273, according to this chart, 273 would be about here. So it's on um, right in the middle of a high-end cutlery edge, and then adding about 18 grams, because about 18 grams is actually the weight in which is being placed onto the media prior to me even doing anything with the pull gauge. So it's still fairly decent for this knife. And first test, let me know what you think on that, and then we'll roll into the rest of the review. As I mentioned, Ausate's kind of on the lower end, so it's still a very good budget steel. But Ausate, as far as edge retention, is going to be about here. And then you have the other side of things where you have corrosion resistance for Ausate. You have hardness for Ausate here. You also have wear resistance for Ausate. So still kind of that bottom 1/3 for the category. But still a very good budget steel in comparison to some other brands. So for how it's going to sit in your hand, so adult male for this knife, it's going to be kind of that sizing there. And then this chart is still available, so if you go to down to the description, you can actually print this out. It should be to scale, and you can kind of see where everything sits in your hand. So for adult female, and then we'll compare it to some of the other ones available in kind of that sizing. So we have this one as far as the Tangram, so that's the Tangram Vector. So one, again, got to be stubborn with that, has gotten better. Handle is still very slick for that knife. You have the Kershaw Fraction, still one of my favorite fidget knives. One of those Sanrenmus, and that's quite a bit smaller. And we have a Bestech, so Bestech. We have the Beluga. And then still my reigning backlock is going to be this Gerber 39 series. So this still was available through Blade HQ, so if you still wanted this knife, check it out. They still did have some options available, but do want to get the 3-inch with the thumb studs other than the one with the nail nick. So that's going to be that process for it. So let's get a weight on some of this knife as well. So 103 grams. And in ounces, we're about 3.6. So this one is on G10 scales, mostly steel, so it does have the full steel liners on it. And then it's actually not bad at all. So that's some of the things for this blade. And the weight and the sizing. So as I said in the beginning of the video, for $15.20, even for a little bit higher, it's a great blade. Just something about the blade shape and the styling really draws me to it. But for compliments for the knife, smooth, snappy compared to even some higher priced blades. Blade shape, as I just said, is very alluring. Nice sharpness for it, as we saw in the testing. And also really a good blade steel for the price point. Downsides, I mean, if you cannot get over the fact that it's tipped down, then yeah, it's right off the table. But if you can get over that, and you still carry a blade, and you're not just only in one direction, tip down carry for this, for one of the downsides. And then I really feel that the liner lock should be a little bit thicker, or something's going on with it. Because in deployment, it has kind of an odd sound to it. It's kind of like a tink or like a weird bit of noise. And you can actually see that lock bar actually flex a little bit before giving way. So something's going on with that. But the overall experience is still very good. After all the recommendations and everything that I've given, I would still recommend getting this knife. $15.20, really can't beat it for the blade. And then if it's $30, maybe I'll be a little bit more on the fence as far as more borrowing it from somebody and actually picking it up. But even for $30, it would probably be a pretty fun blade to have. So let me know what you think. Thank you for your time. Let me know what you think about that, the sharpness tester. And then we do have one other thing that we kind of came across. So Troy Wheatley has been in contact with me and then actually was requesting to have a patch made up. So this one actually is a patch design that was put together, and then we're going to actually, I'm going to try and figure out how to kind of give these away. So I don't want to sell them. I do want to have it where I can kind of say thank you to the people that are involved in the channel for it. So I think it was Mr. Gearbear called me Bladester at one point. So official Bladester, Blade Banter, and then the logo. It's going to be 3 inches. So we'll have iron-on, and we'll also have the hook and loop as far as a Velcro. But let me know what you think. Thank you for your time.